Hey everyone, Velocity here, and today's video is going to be focusing on my Gears 5 multiplayer thoughts and wishlist video that I uploaded just a few days ago. Now with E3 having passed and some of my concerns being answered, I wanted to go ahead and elaborate more on this video. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. In the previous video, I spoke on a few facts: consolidating the playlist, focusing on certain game modes, removing gear packs and introducing a new leveling system, providing in-game missions, and bringing back classic weapons. Some of these have been answered, so let's talk about those in that particular order. I spoke about consolidating the playlist, and this was super important to me because it separates the player base. So what does that mean? In Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War Judgment, and a little bit of Gears of War 4, but more in those previous 3 games, each game, if you add them all up, had around 50 playlists for just your normal modes. That's insane. That's way too many playlists. And so what happened? Why is this a flaw? Why is this a bad thing? It separated players into a casual and ranked game mode. And so when Gears of War 3 and Gears of War 2 started dying out, the ranked playlist went down, meaning there was not enough players. So all the stacked teams of 4 or more players would then merge into your casual game modes and just destroy everybody who was new or returning back to the game. This caused issues to where those players would have zero incentive to continue playing the game, especially if they were new. It doesn't matter when they started playing the game. It's well known that Gears of War has a steep learning curve, but this potentially has caused fundamental issues with organic growth and has only allowed the multiplayer to be focused on veterans or gearheads or die-hard players. And so what's also interesting is I decided to dig a little deeper on this, and back in 2017, the lead multiplayer developer Lee Perry stated in Gears he found out that 90% of first-time players don't play a multiplayer match or second multiplayer match if they don't get a kill. 90% of those players don't continue playing anymore. That's insane. So while that's a terrible idea to have 50 playlists, they knew that something was fundamentally wrong, but it never has truly been addressed. It should be one game mode, not ranked, not casual, merged into one. If you want to do a ranked mode, that's fine, but don't open it up for each game mode having its own separate playlist. It needs to be classified. The other thing that they should do with the playlist is, if you're not going to listen to my concern there, is at least introduce a proper limited time mode event that carries some type of global reward or cash based or something to show prestige. In Gears of War Judgment, they did this with the Reaper. That was cool, but it wasn't exactly all that well received. They need to do something a little bit better to incentivize players to keep wanting to play these limited time modes. I personally don't care for any of the limited time modes that have been introduced in Gears 3 or Gears 4, but hopefully they can right the ship with the escape game mode and having your own creation of your hive. Some other changes I would like to see are to the War Journal. So right now the online stat tracking is very generic. It just goes over your gamer score, your total achievements unlocked, matches played, matches won, total kills, total deaths, and kill death ratio. This should be more detailed, much more expansion added to it. There's a website called tracker.gg which captures multiple games, but some of the big ones are Fortnite, Apex Legends, Battlefield, and Halo, where they have very detailed stat tracking. So what more can we capture? Well, we kind of have some of this already in the War Journal, but it's not very easy to find. But how many times you won MVP? Your largest killing streak? The best game you've ever had based off some type of algorithm, some rating system? Your longest win streak? Have something that glorifies your achievements inside the game. And I'll talk more about that later on. A dedicated website to that, some type of leaderboard is fine, but having something to where everybody can see your prestige other than an in-game leaderboard is going to make massive changes to the player base, in my opinion. I spoke about removing gear packs and introducing a new unlockable system. It does appear they have done this, but no one truly knows what changed. So while gear packs weren't necessarily a bad idea, it was just poorly implemented. Duplicates were an issue with the gear packs, where if you purchase a skin, especially with real-time money, your own dollar bills, you may not get the skins you were hoping for, and that's really problematic. That's not good. That was a lot of rage. I personally never bought a gear pack because of that. I would never want to go through that. Introduce a daily reward system, which I'm going to detail more later on. Weapon skins, characters, and much more, such as emotes, as we now know are in the game. What's currently in place, although it's not a terrible idea, again, it just doesn't work. Scrap values are too low because the amount needed to create a legendary character is way too high, and there's just not enough. There's not a faster way to get scrap. It's a really bad way of doing it, because once you get what you got, you're fine, but until then it's a uphill battle and a lot of grinding, and that's not necessarily a lot of fun. They should produce a season pass unlockable content similar to Fortnite or Apex Legends, but if not, introduce something similar to Gears 2, where as you level up from multiple game modes, you can unlock these characters or weapon skins, emotes, whatever else may be in the game. Monthly challenges for rewards. Now this is very important to me, as it's a fundamental way to retain players, and this video is really just about trying to retain players. Games that are implementing in-game missions, daily rewards, and weekly rewards, such as Fortnite, Apex Legends, MLB The Show, which no one probably plays that I know, but those are games that come to mind that have these going on, which retain the player base because it makes you want to keep coming back for more. It's super important for that player retention. The continuous need for the player to log in, complete challenges, and earn rewards incentivizes players to keep returning. That's what you want. You want them to keep returning. So daily missions could be something around the lines of kill seven enemies without dying, break the ring 15 times in one match, or capture the ring 10 times in one match. Weekly rewards could be win 10 matches of team deathmatch, King of the Hill, something. Kill a total of 250 enemies, or deal 250,000 damage. Now that's actually interesting, because in the IGN video, they showed that damage does now show up on the screen, but it can be turned off. So will this continue on into the multiplayer will be interesting, but I would suspect it will. Rewards could be win 100 matches, 1 million damage, kill 1,000 enemies, capture the ring 100 times, assuming King of the Hill's in there. Those are unlockable things that can incentivize players to retain because they want those missions completed. It's a short-term goal for a reward, and everybody loves that. Each of the daily, weekly, and monthly rewards will unlock particular skins that may be hard, limited, or very hard to obtain in general. That's the key. Retain players, make them want to keep coming back. Each of the daily, weekly, and monthly rewards will unlock particular skins that may be hard to obtain based off the challenges, or they could be through limited time events, which I've talked about previously. Weapon tuning, which I didn't discuss but I would like to talk about, is this should be global across all game modes, ranked or not, unless it's in a test playlist. Remove the active reload damage bonus to all weapons. This should be only for faster reloading at this point. Ensure that long-range weapons don't overpower the shotgun. This was an issue that started back in Gears 2. The emphasis was, well, the shotgun's too powerful, so we need to have balance, but that balance was never truly fully restored, as we saw in the previous games, especially Gears 3, where eventually it did become more of a shotgun fest after the Retro Lancer got nerfed a few times. Gears 2 was Hammer Burst, Lancer Heavy, where you could just get down instantly, especially if you shot at their feet. So I would like to see that removed, and I believe that's going in the right direction. The other thing is the network code. I don't understand why the shotgun is producing 83% damage every time, especially if you're hitting them in close range, where you should, and you get 83% where it should be an instant kill. Trouble understanding why this is an issue after 13 years of networking. Implementing the new damage points per shot system should be beneficial, as it should curb the issues that we are seeing where we're not sure what we're actually doing wrong. Some quick quality of life changes. Introduce in-game mission tracking based off those daily, monthly, weekly rewards. In-game medal tracking, which is now confirmed to be in the game, at least in Escape, where you can see if you got a double kill or a triple kill or so forth. A much easier to navigate menu. It was too clustered in Gears of War 4. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but anybody knows it was a pain to scrap cards or produce a new card by crafting or finding a weapon skin or a character skin that you wanted, and adding more gore, making the game go back to its roots. The marketing of this has told me that it's going to be dreamy. I would like to see that happen. So thanks for watching today's video. If you like today's video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time.